Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all of our friends. Thanks for the chance given to us. Now we would like to present our segment about teaching speaking skill. Okay, I am Lydia Sartitin as the first speaker. Now in this session, I would like to explain about the definition of speaking. In this part, there are the definition of the expert. First, according to Hornby, speaking is about something to talk, say something about something, to mention something, to have a conversation with somebody, to address somebody involved, to say something, or express oneself in a particular language. Second, according to Noonan, he stated that speaking requires that learner not only know how to produce specific point of language, such as grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, but also that they understand when, why, and in what way to produce language. In the definition, our group also prepared the definition speaking in general points. So, speaking in an activity of expressing oneself in a situation by expressing ideas among people in the form of verbal and non-verbal symbol in language, and must also be carried out effectively so that listener can understand them well. Okay, besides that, we also explain about the methods in teaching speaking skill. In the methods, there are many the methods in teaching speaking skill. First, acting from script. The acting from script is divided into two parts. First, play script. It means students should treat play and play script as real acting, drawing attention to appropriate stress, intonation, and speed. Adverbs should be used to describe how lines should be said, ensuring that acting out is both a learning and language producing activity. Second, dialogue. Dialogue students can act out dialogue from the course book or written by themselves. As with any screenplay, they need an opportunity to practice beforehand. We often ask our students to come forward and have a dialogue. In choosing who shall do this, care must be taken not to pick the size student first. We must strive to create the right sportive atmosphere within the class, giving students time to engage in conversation and making everyone feel comfortable. Okay, that's all about my part to explain. Now, I will give chance to our friends to continue explaining the other points. Okay, for our friends, Priska Luisa Madeng, time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, the next is communication games. There are two forms of communication games, namely the information gap game, in which a student must be able to have a partner to talk to in order to solve puzzle, draw picture, or draw and draw arrangements, or find similarities and differences between pictures. The second, television and radio games. These can usually help expedite class activities. For instance, someone provides an object along with mentioning the characteristic of the object, and their partner must guess the object by answering yes or no within a limited time. Next, discussion. There are several types of discussion. The first, bus groups, or brainstorming. These discussions are usually short and informal, which can be used for a whole range of purposes. For example, as a teacher wants students to predict the content of reading text or expect students to talk about what they get from reading activities. Bus groups are useful for getting students to think about larger, more formal tasks such as talks and debates. The second, formal debates. In this context, students prepare arguments for or against various propositions. When the debate starts, the panel speakers will produce arguments and then involve writing arguments, while the others, namely the audience, will interfere during the debate with their own thought or less writing about the subject. And we must know that preparation is the main ingredient for a successful debate as well as in terms of the type presentations. The third, unplanned discussions, which are where some discussion just happen in the middle of lesson, which are not conceptualized or not prepared by the teacher in advance, which, but if encouraged, can provide some of the most enjoyable things and speak productively in class. And the last one, reaching consensus. One of the best ways to encourage discussion is to provide activities that force students to reach a decision, often as the result of having to choose between certain alternatives.
Next, prepare talks and presentation. One important kind of activity is the prepared talk, where students make a presentation a topic of their own choice. Such talks are not designed for informal, spontaneous conversation because they are prepared. They are more writing, however, if possible, the students should speak from notes rather than from a script. The second questionnaires are useful because by being pre-planned they ensure that both the questioner and the respondent have something to say to each other. The student can design questionnaires on any topic that is appropriate. As they do so, the teacher can act as the judge, helping them in the design process. The result obtained from the questionnaires can then from the basic for written, word, discussion, or prepared talks. Next, simulation and role play can be used to encourage general oral fluency or to train students for specific situations, especially where they are studying English for specific purpose or EHP or business English. Storytelling as a vital part of any language user abilities. In other words, and it is extremely useful for language learners for a number of reasons. Firstly, it mirrors the kind of human activity we have been discussing and thus is highly motivating for the students. Secondly, it taps into a skill that everyone possesses to some extent, so it's not as unnatural as some language learning activity can be appeared to be. Now, about approach. The first is making students feel relaxed. The second, matching level and tasks. One of the reasons purpose that students become nervous and reluctant is that we sometimes ask them to do more than they are capable of. The third is using pre-work and group work. The traditional present, practice, and produce or PPP approach. The fifth, the test, teach, test, or TT approach based on the text-based interests. A teamwork or cluster work, role-playing, and a conversation area are all approaches used in the classroom to learn language. And last is about the problem on teaching speaking skill. The first is not professional, the second is inability of using grammatical patterns and the pronunciation of the words. The third is lack of confidence In addition, lack of motivation and content for good speaking, and last but not least, the influence of native language and external problem. I think that's all, sir. Thank you.